Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Today's guests, including Kelly McCrimmon of the Vegas Golden Knights, standing by, brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Don't struggle to find a great deal on new or used vehicles when Langley Chrysler has over 200 vehicles on the lot. Save up to $10,500 on Ram at Langley Chrysler. In-store, online at langleychrysler.com. Canucks in Vegas tomorrow as they continue their road trip down south. Joining us now, Vegas Golden Knights GM Kelly McCrimmon. Kelly, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm doing real well. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Just a warning, Kelly, that you're taking on a Vancouver team tomorrow that has a fan base that is extremely satisfied with how the team is doing. So,
as per usual.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yes.
right.
You're noticing, eh?
Hey, you beat the Wild yesterday. You've won 4 of 5, 8-6-0 after a 1-4 start. And Kelly, anybody who follows hockey knows how long your injury list is. I would imagine right now you're pretty pleased with the way things have gone so far.
Yeah, our goal really with the injuries that we've had coming out of the gate, really beginning in training camp, is to stay in the pile is the term I use. There's generally 5 teams that pop out the top and 4 or 5 that pop out the bottom, and then a big group in the middle. And for us, that's really the goal, is to tread water and wait for reinforcements. I've been pleased with, I think we've won 6 of 8 now. We've developed a little bit of a different identity, which you need to when you've got a lot of guys out of the lineup. I give our coaching staff a great deal of credit. They've been able to prepare our team. Our goaltending has been great, which obviously is critical when you're undermanned. So that's really led the way. Our older players have been good, and then we've had good contributions from some younger guys that are getting an opportunity.
Yeah, who stepped up the most for you, Kelly?
Well, Marchessault and Riley Smith are certainly our 2 leaders up front. They've played really well. Nick Waugh, who has quietly developed into a really good NHL player, has had increased responsibility. I think he's really been good for us on our back end. Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore really have played well. Martinez has been good. So the guys that we need to lead have done that. As I mentioned, the goaltending with Robin, Leonard, Laurent Brossoit have really been showing a lot of leadership as well.
Kelly, a huge trade, and you're no stranger to making big trades there in Vegas. Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, and now Jack Eichel. Tell us just how that came about and when we could see Eichel in a Vegas uniform.
Well, Jack Eichel was available for trade from Buffalo. It had got to a point between the player and the organization that he was going to be moved. If he was going to be moved, we wanted to at least express interest and see what would come of it. It took a considerable length of time for us to finalize a deal. We paid a high price to acquire Jack. I think a trade that made a lot of sense for Buffalo, given where they were at in relation to Jack and his status there. And for our team, I guess the motivation or the thought behind our interest is just a really elite number 1 center, which as many things that have gone right here as they have. It was an organizational need that you don't often get the opportunity to solve it. Jack's 25 years old. He's under contract for 5 more years. We think he's one of the top centers in the National Hockey League. We incur some risk based on his surgery. He's getting surgery today. We're optimistic that surgery will go well and that he'll return to the form that he once had. And his last full season, he had 36 goals in 65 games. He's a player that does a lot of things in terms of speed, the amount he can play, the ability, the game-breaking ability that he has. He's really going to complement our team when we do get him back. We are a little bit unsure what that time frame will look like, but likely somewhere in the 3 to 5 month range, which I know is a pretty broad window. But given that it's never happened to an NHL player before, we can't dial it in much tighter than that.
Kelly, we talked about we're in a hot Canadian market here in Vancouver. You've had tremendous success in Vegas since day one. You guys done a lot of winning since day one. Tell us about the market and how they have reacted. The fans, are they just give us a general feel on what you think of that market right now, Kelly.
Well, it's a great market. It's the fan base is really passionate. The games are a lot of fun. I think first and foremost for our fans, I often tell my friends, my Canadian friends, that for a casual fan to go to a game in Vegas, you'd find it really enjoyable. Just the surroundings, the goings on within the building. They've fallen in love with our team. That goes right back to the expansion year. Not only with the success that team enjoyed, but with the tragedy of 1 October, I think really galvanized our team to the fan base and vice versa with the role that a lot of our players through their own initiative played in trying to help the city heal in a real difficult time. That was right prior to the beginning of our first season on the ice. And I think from there, the success, we've played in 11 playoff series in 4 years, which, I think is, real positive. We're disappointed that we haven't played in more because we lost out in the conference finals in the bubble in Edmonton. And then last year, I guess what you would refer to as the semifinals to Montreal. So we are hoping to build on that. The fans fall in love with our players. I think that the players love the city, everything about the organization. It's a great place for them to play, and it's been a really good addition to the NHL. And when you look at Seattle now coming into the league, it used to be that expansion franchises, when they came into the NHL, were bottom feeders for a period of time. And I think what you've seen now is Vegas is a great addition to the National Hockey League. We expect Seattle will be very much the same, and it makes the league better. It obviously, from a player standpoint, creates more opportunities, and from a fan interest standpoint, I think really, we've gained a great following.
Eichel, Pietrangelo, Stone, Pacioretty, Kelly. Going back to the Eichel deal, what's your organization's philosophy when it comes to building a roster? Because it's very clear that you're not afraid of making big moves.
Well, for me, a lot of these moves are based on what you've already done. So, the fact, we went to the finals in year one. We thought that it was likely in some small part smoke and mirrors in terms of, being a Stanley Cup contender, and yet it whet the appetite of people in the organization and our fan base that we wanted to try to get better. So that, if I remember it correctly, led to the acquisition of Paul Stastny as a free agent, the trade in the fall of Max Pacioretty, and then the opportunity that came to us at the trade deadline that same season to acquire Mark Stone, who was a player that we held in high regard, who I had a lot of history with because of his time in Brandon with the Wheat Kings. And when we made that trade, for me, that really made us a contending team. That's when I really felt that our team was a contender and had a chance to win. And I say all of that recognizing that there's so many things that have to go right for you to win. But when you're looking at roster composition, I think you have an idea of what you want your team to look like, what a championship team needs to look like. And Mark Stone, for me, when we made that trade, really elevated us to that status. And I think, some of those names you mentioned with Pietrangelo, we look at a team, I guess our most recent Stanley Cup winner back-to-back years in Tampa Bay with Victor Hedman on their blue line. But if you look at Stanley Cup champions, over a number of years, they have a player like that. And that's where we were aggressive with trying to sign Petro, which we were able to do. He's been absolutely tremendous ever since he stepped on the ice here. And now I think with Jack Eichel, again, when you look at championship teams, you need that star player, that strength up the middle of the ice. And certainly we've got a lot of good forwards, primarily on the wings. We've got good centermen, but we don't have a franchise centerman, a true number one centerman like Jack Eichel is. So to me, the moves tie together. Jack Eichel wouldn't be for every organization right now based on where teams might be at, but for our organization, based on where we were at, we felt it justified the price. And again, don't forget, he's 25 years old, so he's going to be a player that's a big part of things here for a long time.
Yeah, and surgery, very quick, Kelly, you may have said this already, but surgery today for Jack Eichel. When do you expect him in the lineup?
Well, let's see how surgery goes today.
Okay.
We're optimistic that it will go well. If it does go well, Jack thinks 3 months. I think 4 to 5 months. I don't know that either one of us know.
Yeah.
But it'll be, he'll do everything he can to be back as quickly as possible. Whether that's right after the Olympic break, right before, it's later than that. It's really hard to pinpoint, Don.
Couple of texts and a phone call there. I think Benning's trying to get a hold of you there, Kelly. So we'll let you go. Thanks for this.
Okay.
All the best. You bet.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Thank you.